Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, November 18th imply that Eva Thomas and Isaiah Hawthorne will share a steamy kiss, while Leslie Thomas catches Vernon Dupree and Sharon Winger in the act. After all, Vernon has been secretly meeting Sharon for some time now at her hotel room, which looks to be the same hotel both Leslie and Ted Richardson are staying at. It's not hard to think that Sharon and Leslie may even be on the same floor, but either way, Leslie will catch a sneak peek of Vernon entering Sharon's hotel room. With that said, even though the CBS soap is being all tongue-in-cheek about Sharon and Vernon's mysterious meetings, implying an affair, the two are probably organizing some sort of special surprise for Anita Dupree at Winterfest. Still, this won't be the only drama Leslie deals with during BTG's Tuesday, November 18th episode, as she'll also lean on Ted. Her adoptive mom's, Peach's, health is declining, and it looks like Leslie will be at the hospital for an appointment with her when she approaches her teddy bear for some support. Ted isn't Leslie's biggest fan, but he is trying to maintain a friendship and healthy co-parenting boundaries, even though Leslie railroads every chance she gets. Meanwhile, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday suggest that Eva and Isaiah will take their romance to the next level by sharing a kiss. These two have been flirting up a storm, so now it's time for them to enjoy a lip lock, and from the sounds of it, sparks will fly. How will Haley Hamilton feel when she finds out how things are progressing between the two? She may try to meddle in things and push Eva back into Thomas Navarro's orbit, as she recently got the scoop about the love triangle between Eva, Thomas, and Catherine Kat Richardson. In fact, Haley and Kat had quite the conversation during the Monday, November 17th show, so Haley might use all the information Kat spilled for her own agenda. Lastly, June and Bradley Smitty Smith will have a nice conversation, and it looks like the two will finally clear the air. While Smitty did build a wall when June first entered their lives, it sounds like her determination to turn her life around and the positive influence she's had on the kids has won him over. BTG fans should expect Smitty to officially acknowledge June as part of the family, with some feel-good moments during their chat. Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest Tuesday's episode will be filled with some interesting scenes as storylines progress, so fans will definitely want to tune in to watch all the drama unfold in Fairmont Crest. Shanice and Ted are catching up and mildly flirting when Leslie walks in, seeing them looking close. She goes from jealous to weeping in the blink of an eye, pulling Ted into a hug as she tells him Peaches has had a health setback. Ted sets her mind at ease and then leaves to check on a patient, at which point Leslie drops the weepy act and is downright rude to first Shanice and then the doctor treating Peaches. Lashing out at the people taking care of Peaches is not the move, warns Shanice. That's like spitting at the waiter right before he goes to get your order. Leslie essentially warns that she's going to have Shanice fired, to which the nurse basically shrugs. Later, Ted and Shanice share another close moment, and she asks what he ever saw in Leslie. At Uptown, Eva and Isaiah are getting to know one another via some heavy-duty flirting. Having established that they are very interested in one another, they share a kiss, and then another. Unfortunately, the moment is interrupted by Leslie calling about Peaches. Eva rushes to her mom's hotel room, where Leslie says she wants Ted to treat Peaches. Having decided Ted will be part of the solution, Leslie changes the topic to Eva's date. But the real drama occurs when Leslie spots Vernon sneaking out of Sharon's hotel room. Cackling to herself, it's clear the troublemaker thinks she has the goods on Anita's husband. Smitty, Martin, and the kids head down to Orphe Jean's. While Jessica is at a table with Tyrell, Smitty approaches June. Things are nicely awkward between them until he thanks the waitress for saving his family. They have a lovely conversation, each acknowledging the other's importance in the lives of Samantha and Tyrell. June says that Tyrell and Samantha are exactly where they are supposed to be, promising she'll never get in the way of that. Smitty tells Martin that he's ready for June to be part of their extended family. Jessica tells Samantha that she dodged a bullet with Nathan, and it's largely because of Tyrell. And June eavesdrops as Jessica tells Tyrell that she's thinking about going to UCLA. Ironically, his parents interrupt because they have to go home to meet with Isaiah about Tyrell possibly attending Banneker. Once they leave, June talks to Jessica, who admits it might be better to get out of her relationship with Tyrell now than try the long-distance thing. Bill and Jacob cross paths at Caffeine Fix. Jacob tells Bill about the birth control pill message Naomi saw on Haley's phone, and Bill gives him the out-of-whack hormones explanation, which Haley fed her husband. Bill suggests maybe Jacob should focus more on his own marriage, getting his son-in-law to admit he and Naomi have hit a rough patch. Joining Haley at this country club, Kat makes what she thinks is an offer Bill's wife can't refuse. Kat says she'll help Haley improve her standing in Fairmont Crest Society in exchange for insight into how a family-stealing home wrecker's mind works. Kat's goal? To derail any plans Eva might have where Tomas is concerned. Haley's advice? Fix any cracks in the relationship before Eva can slip in. Kat gets together with Tomas at the club and works on getting things back on track. She promises to find ways to work through her issues with Eva, including talking to her mom. Clearly thrilled at this development, Tomas tells his girlfriend that he's fully recovered from their recent sexcapades-related accident, and they decide to go celebrate. Danny and Andre wake up in Los Angeles, ready for a wild honeymoon. But things get a little awkward when Andre catches his wife up on everything that went down with Ashley before they left town. But stone-cold sober, the two of them pick one another all over again, agreeing that a healthy relationship is hot. At one table, Leslie claims to Eva that Anita has entrusted her to send out the Winterfest invitations. Leslie sees this as an opportunity to ignore the guest list and invite who she wants. Across the way, Mona tells Jan she'll never forgive Leslie for what she's done. Leslie tries using Winterfest tickets to win Mona over, but to no avail. Just then, Leslie gets a call from Peaches. "What's wrong?" She panics. At the club, Jacob warns Isaiah to be wary where Eva's concerned, but it's Haley who has her eyes on his prize. The moment he's alone, she sashays up to the hunk and strikes up a flirty conversation. She says they both need friends, and he agrees, although it's clear she wants more. But Randy calls and tells her to step up their plan to dispose of Bill, because Joey is getting suspicious. Later, Isaiah shows up at Orphe Jean's. He and Eva talk, after which they decide to go somewhere more private. Beyond the Gates, spoilers indicate that fans were slightly shocked about learning how dark Haley Hamilton is. Lacy Sookies. But no one was more surprised than her portrayer, Marquita Goings. The actress recently talked to Soap.com about Haley's endgame, and when she found out about her real plan, Goings tells Soaps.com that she had no idea that her character was a schemer at the beginning of the show. However, producers did give her a hint during a scene she had with Carla Mosley. Goings had Haley snap at Danny, which is when the producers noted, No, don't do that. Continue to play her the way you have been." Marquita questioned, "Why?" And they replied that Haley will shift. However, Goings didn't know to what degree. As the weeks got closer to shooting Haley's big reveal, her plot to poison Bill Hamilton, the BTG producer, Julie Hanan Carruthers, asked Goings to come into her office and talk, and that's when she found out about Haley's dark side. Planning a murder of a major character could mean that Haley is on her way to prison at some point, but Goings, who was careful with her words so that she does not ruin anything for BTG fans, had this to say, "I don't want to say too much because I feel like it'll be giving something away, but they kind of told me what's going on now and in the future. It was just clear communication." She also added, "If Haley was backed into a corner or got caught up to no good, it would be nice to have Leslie there to blame. It's like a get-out-of-jail-free card." After all, Leslie Thomas did recently ask Haley to form an alliance, and Haley is quick on her toes. After the confrontation with Leslie, Haley quickly ran to Bill and mentioned how crazy Leslie is. Was she setting her friend up, just in case she needed someone to take the fall? On the Wednesday, November 19th, episode of Beyond the Gates, Martin and Kat's feud hits a boiling point, while Ted and Eva have their own intense conversation. Plus, Leslie tries to extort another Dupree, which is one of our BTG moments to watch this week. Apparently, Martin and Kat are still feuding. The siblings had a falling out over the drama that happened with Samantha. Martin blamed his sister for negatively influencing his daughter after he caught Samantha making out with a boy on their couch, while Martin, with the help of Smitty, calmed down and let Samantha continue working for Chelsea Cat. It appears that the brother and sister haven't made up yet. In fact, things have escalated. The weekly teasers reveal that Kat and Martin's feud hits a boiling point. Will the Richardson siblings be able to put their anger behind them? Meanwhile, an interesting situation is developing with the other sibling Kat is currently feuding with. Eva has made strides with Ted. The father and daughter are growing closer and closer, and she's calling him Dad. However, Wednesday's interaction may become tense and even heated. Eva has some tough questions to answer from her dad, which means Ted may have finally listened to Kat. Ted made no bones about wanting Kat to accept Eva and feels, validly, that Kat is spoiled and takes their life for granted. But Kat also told Ted how Eva slept with Tomas. At the time, Ted just continued with his agenda and let that comment fall by the wayside. Meanwhile, in Los Angeles, Danny and Andre are enjoying their honeymoon. They have barely left their hotel room, basking in the knowledge that they love each other and are all in on their marriage. In fact, they decided to get rings to help solidify that love. The teaser suggests that Danny and Andre receive an important delivery. Then they make a declaration that will affect their future. What does that mean? Finally, Anita has, for some reason, put Leslie in charge of invitations to Winterfest. And Leslie is taking it seriously, although she is putting her own spin on things, of course. But there must be something wrong, because Leslie suddenly does something drastic on Wednesday. She tries to extort another Dupree. And now we have some questions. Which Dupree does she target? Why does she feel the need to resort to extortion? And will her tactics prove successful? Does this have something to do with Peaches' health? On the Tuesday, November 18th episode of Beyond the Gates, Vernon and Sharon meet, but this time they're under watchful eyes. Meanwhile, Eva and Isaiah's connection deepens, and Ted unexpectedly becomes a shoulder to cry on. The reason behind Vernon and Sharon's clandestine meetings remains a mystery, but the weekly spoilers suggest that Vernon and Sharon meet under watchful eyes. This could mean that somebody spots them, or this is about Anita suspecting her husband is up to something, and she wants to know the details. That scenario played out in BTG's weekly video preview. What lengths will Vernon go to hide what he's doing with Sharon? It's likely a very innocent reason Anita's groupmate and husband are meeting up. However, it could be misconstrued if someone were to spot the two together. Since Isaiah returned to the DMV, he and Eva sparked an instant connection. This development could finally prevent her from even thinking about Tomas. Hopefully, she has put Kat's boyfriend in her rearview mirror. Meanwhile, Eva's dad, Ted, unexpectedly becomes a shoulder to cry on. How unexpected is this if it involves Leslie? On Monday, her involvement with Winterfest causes drama. This could send her to seek comfort from Ted. The question is, will he give her what she needs? Because in the weekly video preview, it feels like he's giving her a dose of tough love. I think you walk around dropping matches and act surprised when fire starts. Leslie loves to create chaos and then act hurt when she receives blowback. But Ted says he wants to be friends with Leslie. Will he treat her like a pal and be that supportive shoulder? Smitty has been hesitant to completely accept June as a part of his family's life. But both Samantha and Tyrell have been letting their biological mom into their lives lately. Samantha has especially turned to June for a female perspective that she misses in a family of males. Smitty and June are about to have an overdue heart-to-heart. How will that go? Will they come to a new understanding? Meanwhile, Samantha's punishment causes discomfort to her entire family. Will Martin be able to step up and figure out how to ease his family's discomfort? If not him, then who will? Here are your spoilers for Beyond the Gates. On Wednesday, November 19th, 2025, Ted has tough questions for Eva. And Leslie extorts another Dupree war of the Richardsons is what this feels like, as in Wednesday's episode, Kat and Martin's feud hits a boiling point. With neither backing down on their viewpoints, it's a battle of attrition, with the easy money on Kat, as she has a stubborn streak a mile wide. This one needs mediation for sure. Kat has no intention of backtracking on the Eva situation and doesn't see that she did anything wrong regarding Samanatha. In Wednesday's episode, Eva has some tough questions to answer from her dad. Kat made many valid points when she spoke with her father about the reasons she despises Eva. The ones that are going to land poorly are the ones about Eva sleeping with Tomas, which she will need to explain to Ted. Those things are separate from Kat just being a princess and a brat. In Wednesday's episode, Danny and Andre receive an important delivery, then make a declaration that will affect their future. This could be the wedding rings ordered through Jerry the jeweler. You couldn't even make that name up, LOL. Danny and Andre are so very committed to each other that they may even take a more serious approach to marriage and redo the ceremony with genuine rings. In Wednesday's episode, Leslie tries to extort another Dupree. Just when we thought that Leslie had turned over a new leaf in this leafy Maryland suburb, she's back to her original tricks and schemes. Extorting another Dupree won't come as a surprise to many, yet bets are on as to who it will be. It would be easy for us to choose Anita for this, but Nicole and Kat are popular choices as well. Vernon should be pretty safe as long as he doesn't get caught slinking around with Sharon. Oh, wait a minute, he did. Leslie won't let this juicy detail escape her. And we can't wait to see what she asks for in return for her silence. Hold on, soap fans, as we reach the midway point of the week and things start heating up with the current storylines. Beyond the Gates Daily YAPP for Tuesday, November 18th. Welcome to the Beyond the Gates Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that, I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. Leslie went from a 10 on the grief scale to 10 on the delighted with development scale. Let's dive in and find out why. Leslie received a call that Peaches was in the hospital and not doing too well, and she immediately went to the hospital. She was distraught when talking to Ted about not losing the only mother she knew, and then took it out on poor Dr. Wilkes, as if having money could fix everything. We didn't get to see Leslie versus Shanice turn into a throwdown, but that would be an interesting one to watch. But all was well not long after. Leslie and Eva were in her mother's hotel room. Eva had explained that she had smooched with Isaiah and then left. Leslie noticed Eva had forgotten something and went to chase after her to return it when she heard voices down the hall, an incriminating conversation between Vernon and Sharon. Leslie was overjoyed at the possibilities this would bring, and she mused to herself, Vernon, stepping out with the wrong articulate, delicious. It won't take a crystal ball to work out which Dupree Leslie is going to be extorting tomorrow. Now does it? Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, do not, seriously, do not forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is, if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, November 18th reveal some interesting moments in Fairmont Crest. Eva Thomas and Isaiah Hawthorne get closer, while Vernon Dupree and Sharon Winger get caught. Plus, Ted Richardson offers support. Find out more about Tuesday's show below. Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday, November 18th suggest that the connection between Eva and Isaiah will deepen. These two are getting closer and closer by the day, and there have been some real sparks between them since Isaiah strolled back into town. Will Eva and Isaiah do the deed during Tuesday's show? Maybe they share a kiss? Either way, it sounds like they'll take the next step in this steamy romance. Across town, it's implied that Vernon and Sharon will meet again, however, this time, under a watchful eye. All arrows point to Leslie Thomas being the person who catches Vernon and Sharon together. But what exactly are these two up to, and why all the secrecy? Speaking of Leslie, Beyond the Gates spoilers for Tuesday tease that Ted will offer his shoulder for someone to cry on. It sounds like this will be unexpected, and it also looks like the person doing the crying will be Leslie. Ted is slated to help Leslie's adoptive mom, Peaches, with her condition. So will his ex go crying to him about Peaches' ailments? Will Ted promise to either give a second opinion or help her get one on her illness? Finally, Bradley, Smitty Smith, and June will talk, and it looks like it'll be a good one. BTG spoilers indicate they'll have a heart-to-heart, which means they probably smooth over their differences. June has proven to be a positive influence in Samantha Richardson's and Tyrell Richardson's lives. Plus, she has supported Smitty and Martin Richardson's parenting. It'll be nice to see Smitty and June come together in a positive way. In related news, Samantha's punishment will cause some drama for the rest of her family. What could this be about? What storyline are you most looking forward to during Tuesday's show? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to check back with Celebrating the Soaps for all the latest Beyond the Gates spoilers, news, rumors, comings and goings, and updates. Beyond the Gates spoilers suggest some bombshells for the week of November 17 to 20, plus a flurry of casting activity. Who's coming and who's going on the CBS soap over the next 5 days? Read more below. Beyond the Gates spoilers hint Mona Wilson, played by Karen Kendrick, as well as Jan Morgan, played by Jerry Tubbs, will get more airtime this week. As BTG fans may recall, Mona refused to give Leslie Thomas a second chance, while Jan did. So the three will have some drama-filled scenes about Leslie's involvement with Winterfest. In addition, Sharon Winger will have more shady secret visits with Vernon Dupree, as Benita Brisker continues her current run on the CBS soap. Sharon is Anita Dupree's old Articulette's singing sister, so it'll be interesting to see exactly why she and Vernon are meeting up on the down low. However, this likely won't be revealed this week, although it does seem as if someone will catch them in the act. In other casting news, Beyond the Gates spoilers imply that Leslie's adopted mom, Peaches, is slated to appear during the week of November 17 to 21, as Arl Michelle reprises the role. In fact, Ted Richardson is going to help Peaches with her ailment. As BTG viewers know, Peaches has a fatal condition, so will Ted assess her and help with a therapy to cure her illness, or at the very least, keep it at bay. Only time will tell. Speaking of mother issues, June, played by Jasmine Burke, will also be a part of Beyond the Gates this week. She and Bradley "Smitty" Smith will have a heart-to-heart during the Tuesday, November 18th episode. So it'll be nice to see Samantha Richardson and Tyrell Richardson's adopted dad and bio mom finally land on the same page. The Tuesday episode of Beyond the Gates brings several simmering tensions to a boil as Vernon and Sharon's quiet meetups draw unwanted attention, Eva and Isaiah's bond intensifies, and Smitty faces long-avoided truths at home. But as these storylines collide, one encounter leaves everyone wondering whether a simple misunderstanding is about to spiral into something far bigger. Vernon's repeated meetings with Sharon continue to raise concern, especially since neither of them seems fully aware of how suspicious their interactions appear. Their latest meetup takes place in plain sight, leaving room for misinterpretation from anyone passing by at the wrong moment. Anita, in particular, grows more unsettled. She senses something unusual in her husband's behavior, and the weekly preview hinted that she may already suspect he's hiding details from her. Her rising curiosity pushes her to observe him more closely, trying to understand what exactly he and Sharon keep discussing. The truth may be innocent, but with the wrong person noticing their private exchanges, Vernon and Sharon could quickly find themselves pulled into a storm they never intended to start. Eva's emotional space shifts once again. Now that Isaiah is back in the DMV, their ongoing connection strengthens with each conversation, nudging her further away from the complications she once felt with Tomas. On Tuesday, their spark only grows stronger. Meanwhile, Ted steps into an unexpected role of emotional support, most likely for Leslie, whose involvement in the Winterfest drama sent shockwaves through the community. Her instinct to seek comfort leads her toward Ted, but he refuses to sidestep the truth. In the weekly preview, he told her she tends to drop matches and act surprised when fire starts, making it clear he sees the chaos she often creates. Even so, Ted insists he wants to remain friends with her, forcing him to balance honesty with compassion as she leans on him more heavily than usual. Samantha and Tyrell have shown a growing willingness to include June in their lives, with Samantha especially turning to her mother for the kind of perspective she misses at home. But Smitty continues to struggle with the emotional weight of June's presence, creating friction beneath the surface. This week pushes Smitty and June into a long overdue conversation, a turning point that may finally address the tension they've quietly carried. Whether it leads to clarity or conflict remains to be seen. but the moment promises to reshape how their family moves forward. At the same time, Samantha's punishment brings discomfort that spreads through the entire household. Martin now faces the challenge of steadying the family, and if he hesitates, someone else may need to shoulder the responsibility before things get worse. The action in the Beyond the Gate spoilers preview video for the week of November 17th opens in a Los Angeles hotel room where Danny and Andre are on their impromptu honeymoon, basking in the romance of their getaway as they sip champagne. "To my wife, I love you," he tells Danny as he tips his champagne flute toward her. Danny smiles and says to her new husband, "I love you too." They clink their flutes to seal the toast. Back in the DMV, at the Fairmont Crest Country Club, Anita and Vernon are mid-discussion. "So, are you going to tell me what this little secret is? Or do I have to start guessing? And you know how vivid my imagination is," she tells him, lowering her voice to make it clear just how serious she is. Will Vernon open up about his secret meetings with Sharon? "Apparently not," he answers with a deflection. "Well, not as vivid as Leslie's." Speaking of Leslie, the scene shifts as she pays Ted a visit at his office, looking for advice. "I don't know where else to turn," she tells her ex-lover. He is not moved in the slightest by her crocodile tears. "I think you walk around dropping matches and act surprised when fires start," he tells her. Will Leslie get angry that he isn't taking her seriously, or will she finally get real with him? Ted and Leslie's daughter, Eva, finds herself on the receiving end of harsh words from Ted's other daughter, Kat, when the two cross paths at Uptown. Finding out that Ted asked Eva to call him Dad is still a deep wound for Kat, and she lets her half-sister have it. "I wish your mother had gotten rid of you, because we'd all be living our best lives if you'd never been born," Kat snaps. Haley is having the time of her life as she drops some more poison in husband Bill's mug. Proud of herself, she says out loud while practically dancing with glee, "One small dose for Bill, one giant leap toward a $10 million payout for Haley," unaware that Bill's daughter Naomi has walked into the room. See it for yourself in the video below. Let us know what you think is going to happen in the comments section, and be sure to check out our spoilers gallery for a look at what's next on all the soaps the week of November 17th, including BTG.